Chip Foose and overhauling, two names that are synonymous with some really amazing automobile transformations. Way back in 2005, Season 3, Episode 18, Chip and his A-Team performed their magic on this 67 Charger live in front of the audience on the SEMA show floor. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out through Discovery Plus. In addition to new paint, new wheels, new engine, new pretty much everything, ARC Audio was engaged for the sound system. This was ARC's opportunity to introduce the new Foose design series of subwoofers and amplifiers. Over 20 seasons and many years, Foose has engaged ARC Audio for many of the builds on overhauling. Established in 1998, ARC Audio is set up as a sound quality-based company with processor and amplifier designs by Robert Zeff, formerly of Zapco. Today I'm pulling out one of the amplifiers I've had for quite a while, just been sitting in a box. The Foose design FD2200 by ARC Audio. Here you can see it in the box, the Foose signature right there on the outside. Let's get this bad boy open and see what it's all about. First up, we'll see the owner's manual, which covers 4 different models, 2 2-channels and 2 4-channels. Of course, we have a 2-channel model. We'll go over the specs here in just a little bit. We also have some mounting screws in addition to a high-level adapter to hook up directly to your speakers if you need to. And then we have this little slide-on panel. I'm going to show you what this is for a little bit later here in the video. We also have some end caps. That's right, we're going old school with the end caps. These are plastic, unfortunately. They're not aluminum like the rest of the amp, but we'll see how it looks once we get it together. And let's slide the amp out of the bag here. Take a closer look at it. And here you go. It is a fingerprint magnet to begin with, but let's talk about the specs. The FD or Foose design models from ARC Audio were Class AB 2 and 4-channel amplifiers, first introduced in 2005 at SEMA, sold as 2006 models, also included a set of component speakers, in addition to subwoofers that all bear the Foose design signature and logo. Believe it or not, our friends over at Woofers Etc. actually have some of these in stock at the time of this video. They will not last, I guarantee you. You can either choose a 1-pack or a 2-pack. Check links in the video description and catch one if you can. So being completely honest, although I'm a huge fan of Chip Foose, I have to say the design of this amplifier on the outside did not impress me when I first took it out of the box. I really didn't get it. It just looks very plain. Can't really tell that it's Foose design by any means. He typically does things kind of over the top and does really clean looks, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Let's talk about the different settings and switches here on the amplifier. First up on the left side, you'll see the RCA inputs. These are not Tiffany style. You'll see a metal gain potentiometer, bass boost control from 0 to 18 dB, that is at 45 Hertz. We also have a crossover, which is variable with the ×10 button. You can choose either low pass, high pass, or full range. Also, we have a switch for stereo, bridged, or left plus right sum. That is for your RCA inputs. And then, of course, we have the speaker level input there on the far right side of the amp. On the opposite side, very simple connections here. We just have the speaker lead connections. This is a stereo amp left and right, which is also bridgeable using the 2 outside terminals, the left minus, right positive. These will accept up to 8 gauge speaker wire. In addition to the ground, turn on, and 12 volt, all accepting 8 gauge as well. And a 40 amp ATC style fuse. In case you blow a fuse, you can replace it very easily. Now, I did mention earlier I wasn't impressed with the design of this amp. The exterior did not look that nice to me. But let's take these 2 end caps and put them on the end, just kind of mock it up here. And then you'll see the need for that extra little panel here. It actually goes when you put the end cap on. So we'll slide out the original and we'll put this new one on and we'll get it set up. And now look at it. Oh yeah. I mean, it looks a whole lot better now. I can see the Foose design in this with the clean lines, and yeah, I'm a fan of it now. So I'll take back what I said earlier. As for the dimensions without the end caps, it's about 13 inches in length or 330 millimeters. But once you add the end caps, it's closer to 17 inches, which is odd because the manual says like 15.5. It is 17 inches long with the end caps. For the width, about 10 inches, 254 millimeters. And for the height, it's a standard size for most car audio amplifiers, around 2.2 inches or 57 millimeters. Ratings for the amp include 100 watts by 2 at 4 ohms, 180 by 2 at 2 ohms, or 360 watts bridged at 4 ohms. On the right side of the amp, we have the power LED. Once we turn it on, it has about a 3-second delay. We see it. We're fired up. So let's go ahead and get it connected to the Demore Engineering SMD amplifier dyno so that we can try the power output test. You'll see the power output on the left. Ohm load is in the middle. The voltage of the dyno is on the right. We'll also have the remote clamp where we can estimate the current consumption and efficiency of this amplifier. First test will be 4 ohms 2-channel rated 100 watts by 2 at 14.41 kilohertz. Here you can see we have all the channels hooked up. We have 8 gauge going into the power and ground. Let's do the certified test first. Again, 1 kilohertz. What can we get? And can we get the 100 watts by 2? But of course we can. 130 and 126 right at 14.4. Now it is important to note that the ratings are at 0.05% THD, so we did expect to get more than rated power. Now, uncertified we didn't show because you'll see that when we do the final test here, but dynamic 134 and 131. Now let's try 2 ohms. It's rated 180 watts by 2 at 14.4. Again, 1 kilohertz track. Certified test takes us up to 1% distortion, a little bit higher than they're rated. There you go, 213, 206, 14.3. Easily meets and exceeds the rated power by quite a bit. Dynamic power sends a 1 kilohertz burst track into the amplifier. Power's not all that much more, but about 236 and 233. Oop, jumped up. 240, 236, 14.45. Now we're going to bridge the amplifier using the outside terminals left minus right positive. That will give us the ability to kind of drive either a single speaker, or in most cases people would use it to drive a small subwoofer. We're going to test it at 1 kilohertz and 40 hertz. Let's try 1 kilohertz first. Certified up to 1% distortion, again rated 360 watts at 14.4. And there you go, 434, 14.32. This is a Class AB amp from the early 2000s. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty good for that. Uncertified up to clipping. Let's see if we get a little bit more here with the clipping. Yes, we do. 433, 14.32. Finally here for the 4 ohm bridge test at 1 kilohertz. We'll try it dynamic. And we'll keep climbing. 469, is it going to go up anymore? 471 at 14.48. Now we'll switch it to the 40 hertz track because we're assuming if you're going to bridge the amp, you might want to run a subwoofer off of it. So let's try it certified 40 hertz, 4 ohms bridge mono rated 360 watts, and we get 381, 14.3. So it still does the rated power plus some, even at voltage that's a little bit less than rated. Uncertified up to clipping, again 40 hertz track. What can we get? Can we bust 400? Yes, we can. 400 watts at 14.26 rated 360. And finally here for the 4 ohm test, we are going to try the dynamic burst using the 40 hertz track. And there you can see about 418. Is it going to go any higher? Can we get a 420? No, 418 at 14.28. Here are all the results of the different tests, including 8 ohm stereo, which I did not show. We got about 70 watts per channel. Again, the efficiencies are estimated, but around 60% or so. That's typical for a Class AB amplifier. And here are the 8 ohm and 4 ohm tests bridged for the FD2200. Now let's try it with some speakers. Now before we move on to this subwoofer test using this ARC Audio FD2200, I want to talk about my channel sponsor for this month, Savard Speaker Systems. Shopforboom.com, you can save 7% off using code WOW7. Savard offers a broad line of speakers, subwoofers from 6.5 inches all the way to 18 inches, and then they have some new SQ speakers as well. They have pro audio, all kind of goodies. Make sure you check shopforboom.com, use code WOW7 for 7% off, and thanks to Savard for sponsoring this segment. Now let's try this ARC Audio amp to a 6.5 inch Savard Hi-Q sub and see how it does. I've said it before and I'll say it again, 300 watts to a subwoofer, not bad at all. Although this is a Class AB amplifier, we did not see any extreme heat after all the amp dyno tests as well as the subwoofer test. The exterior of the amp stayed actually pretty cool. It does have forced cooling. We'll see the fan here in a minute once we take the bottom panel off the amplifier. Predator mode deactivated. Let's get to the bottom of the amp, taking off the 6 screws, using the glove so we don't leave fingerprints everywhere. Here we go. You can see the fan there on the bottom. We're going to use it to pry up a little bit. And here is the amplifier. There's the guts. Not really impressive to those who may look at this thinking there should be a whole lot of stuff here. This is a Class AB sound quality based amplifier. It does have the 105 degrees Celsius caps, 1000 microfarad, 50 volts there for the rails, and for the input filtering, 3300 microfarad at 25 volts DC. According to the stamping on the amplifier, this is an early revision 1.0 from September of 2005. Now, it is stated in the press release these amplifiers have Sanken output transistors. However, we take a closer look, these are not Sanken, so whoops, marketing fail. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on to the pros and cons. Things I like, things that could be better, at least things to be aware of. First off, Foose exterior design looks nice when you put the end caps on it. Robert Zeff amp design. This is a sound quality based amplifier. Class AB sounds great. Has metal potentiometers, flexible crossovers for low pass, high pass, or disabled completely. 105 degrees Celsius capacitors. Protection circuitry works good, which you'll see at the very end of the video if you stick around. It is unique. Is it a future collector's item for it being a Foose design car audio amplifier? Only time will tell. Things to be aware of, it is a big amplifier because it is a Class AB requiring larger footprint. It has no remote gain for bass. It has plastic end caps. I wish they were aluminum, it would look much nicer. It is made in 2005, so at the time of this video, almost 19 years old. And there is no Sanken outputs as stated in the press release. Not sure how they missed that. Here you can see these amplifiers installed in a Honda CR-V. This is owned by my friend Sean King's wife. And here you can see he's got a single sub there on the side and 4 of these amplifiers all set up using 3-way active up front and the subwoofer in the back, processor control. This thing sounds amazing and the looks pretty cool too. I think Chip Foose would approve, don't you? Well, there you have it, the video and review of the Foose design ARC Audio FD2200 amplifier. Who knew they'd be testing this amp like 19 years after it was made? I didn't even realize it was that old when I got these brand new from Woofers, etc. Check links in the video description before they're gone. Thanks as always for watching. Until next time, Big D, I'm out of here. Let's try a dynamic burst 2 ohms bridge mono for the ARC Audio Foose amp. It is not rated for this, but we're going to do a 1 kilohertz burst. It should be fine. Let's see what we get. Oh, goes into protect. All right, here we're going to try the amp at 2 ohms dynamic and watch what it does. Yep, looks like it just, power light just goes out, then it comes right back on, so the protection circuit is working as intended.